Wait. That's the old intro, and we can't use that anymore. This is no longer What's 3D Printing. Welcome to Project Talk with James and Glenn, your new favorite 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Eastern Seaboard YouTube live stream that talks about 3D printing and some other projects. Hello, everybody, and how are you? And welcome. I, of course, am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me, as always, is my brother from another mother, James from Print and Play.
We're the new Coke of YouTube streams.
What's that?
We're the new Coke of YouTube streams.
Mark said, well, is James late? Actually, no, James was here before I was today.
We just had to run down a couple. We were both here before the opening, but we had a couple things we had to run down before we...
Well, and I turned on the computer at like 4 o'clock, and it said that I needed to reboot. Both my antivirus was crying for a reboot, and Windows was crying for a reboot. So I went ahead and said okay, and like it was updating for like 10 minutes, and it was only at 24%. So I was a little scared, but we got there, and then it popped up and said, congratulations, you have the newest version of Windows. And I'm like, great. And then none of my audio worked.
Progress doesn't come without sacrifice, my friend.
What's that?
Progress does not come without sacrifice.
No. If I haven't said it in a while, I really hate Microsoft. I really do. So
Microsoft, I hate you
Tom
too.
Lama said, so get a Mac. No, that's not going to happen either. I just got to figure out how to run all my stuff on Linux and be done. Which
Go ahead.
OBS under Linux runs fabulously.
I installed OBS on a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah?
It's not great.
I was going to say, I can't imagine that would do well. Maybe on one of the larger 4s, but...
I put it on the Pi 400, and it struggled to get above 15 frames per second in terms of broadcasting.
Well, let me run down the list real quick. Alan Osborne is here. Mitch 3D is here. Tom Lama, Clint, Bob S, 3D Homebrew, Builder Smart, SBC 3D. Sergio HVAC A to Z is here. Hello, Sergio. I haven't seen you in a while. MJ, and that's it. So anybody that's coming in later?
Too bad.
Too bad. All right, so that's all the energy you get out of me today.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
I used it all up. So the whole thing with that intro is because I haven't had a chance to make the new intro, so that's why I did that. I did upload the video today without a thumbnail and then made a quick thumbnail afterwards, but yeah. So, how was my day so far, you ask?
How was my day? Asked nobody ever.
All right, well, my day actually started on Friday night. So I've had an issue with my new to me car, the Maxima, the one that's going to be Xander's car eventually. It throws a check engine light. If I clear it, it'll do it again within about a week. It takes about a week for it to come back. And sounds like you're using the webcam mic. It better not be. Let me double check.
I wonder if it's on, does it sound like I'm using a webcam mic?
No.
Well, I am. Look at that. Is that better?
Is that better?
Yeah, you sound less like garbage.
Oh, excellent.
Like you still sound like garbage, but less like garbage.
Oh, yeah. I always just thought it was me that sounded like garbage. All right, let me know if that sounds better. So
I also switched my mic. Does my mic sound different?
No, it really doesn't.
Really? I switched from it was using my HP webcam mic to the Yeti.
Well, let's do it side by side.
Okay, so this should be the Yeti.
I can hear myself.
Oh, well, sometimes that's the only way you can get an intelligent conversation. Am I right?
Is that on my side or your side?
Might be my side. I don't know. It's a free country.
Check.
Okay.
Now it's gone.
Then I switched to the HP one. And this is what I was using before.
Oh, yeah. I can definitely tell the difference now.
I was going to say, if I spent $200 on a freaking microphone and it sounds the same as my HP webcam.
Mitch said James' mic couldn't fix his voice.
Wow. Mitch, you're a bad friend.
All right. So anyway, I've been chasing this problem on the Maxima for a few weeks now, and the code that it was throwing was pretty much that it had a vacuum leak downstream.
Vacuum leak. That sucks.
Yeah. So what was happening? Oh, look, Mark's kicking in the $10 already. Whew, good thing, because that part of the story will come up later too. I gotta find Mark's banner. There he is. Whoop. Hey, look, there you go. Segment is now sponsored by BuilderSmart.
Does he have anything
$10 US there, Mark?
Does he have anything he wants us to promote when he kicks in $10? Does he want something else added to the progress bar?
Hey, easy now. He gets a banner at the bottom of the screen. All right. So anyway, when your car has a vacuum leak, what happens is the computer goes, like the O2 sensor goes, man, there's way too much oxygen. You need to die. And so it starts to dump more fuel into the car, which, as long as it doesn't hit a certain point, you don't really know it. Car drives fine. But it eats fuel like crazy.
Yep.
So I finally did some thorough investigating and figured out that the leak was between the upper intake manifold and the lower intake manifold. So I pulled it apart thinking the gasket was bad, and instead I had a huge crack. Well, so did the intake manifold. Had a crack running up through the number one cylinder runner, and that's where the air was coming in. Is $10 the sponsorship threshold? Well, at this point, Bob, now you have to beat Mark to take the spot, but there is actually no threshold for sponsorship.
The threshold is the previous donation.
Yeah, you just got to beat the guy before you, or the person before you. Tom Lama said, caulk it. Well, I kind of did. I went out and bought some JB Weld, and JB welded it, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and it's still leaking. So this morning I got up. I have no local junkyards that are open on the weekends. So I don't even know if the local junkyard has the part that I need. But I got up this morning and I drove, with traffic and stuff, almost 2 hours to get there. No, I want my whole 15 seconds. There was a LKQ. I don't know if you guys have ever been to an LKQ lot, but it's pretty cool the way it's set up. You pay $3 to get in. There's a $3 admission, but then you can stuff your pockets full of fuses and nuts and bolts if you want to. They don't actually say that, but I'm assuming that's what the $3 is for. But they have flat price on all their stuff. Like you can look on their website or on the wall and see how much stuff's going to cost you. And then there's no messing around, before you pull the part off. So I drove down there and ended up picking up, I got the whole entire upper intake plenum, including the throttle body. Intake plenum new was going to cost me about $170. So I got the whole entire upper intake plenum with the throttle body. I got a spoiler for the back of the car, and I got a new overhead console because the sunglass holder was broken on ours. And it was like $130. And I got to meander around in a junkyard, which was pretty awesome because I like junkyards. So, which it got me to thinking, why hasn't somebody done that for like the DIY person? Get a warehouse and then like drive around and pick up old laser printers and stuff out of people's trash and
People
just have
go ahead.
What's that?
And people can come dig like NEMA 17s out of them, or
yeah, whatever. Like you don't have to buy the whole thing. You come in and you're like, well, I just want this display. All right, $2.
Yep.
Like it's a great way to recycle. So if anybody runs with that idea, please, kick me some cash for the idea. But I got new gaskets coming, so I'm not going to be working on the car until probably Tuesday night, which is fine because I still have some things to do to get the apartment ready for Shenanigans to be moving in. He will be here in like 2 days.
Oh, is that still happening?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I thought it might go ahead.
He's actually excited.
Good for him. So that might be interesting to tear these apart. These are two handhelds that are from China that, other than the color, look like they're identical, right?
Right.
Except for one, as far as I can tell, until we tear it apart, is just a Nintendo system on a chip. So it's basically one of those cheap, like $8 or $9 NES consoles with a cartridge hardwired to it. So,
okay.
Is it frozen? That'd be interesting. Oh, apparently I went into Chinese. So it just comes up with a list of Nintendo games. The other one is an ARM-based emulation system, which maybe is dead. No, there we go.
Tom said, because then you'd end up with a bunch of ANET boards you can't get rid of.
Oh, no, you just have a fire sale.
I think that would be an awesome idea, just to have like a big warehouse. I mean, we have a cool electronic surplus store in Orlando, but you have to buy like the whole thing. I think it would be cool just to like go in and be able to buy like just parts out of it.
Okay, so differences right off the bat. The battery is different.
Like completely different. It's funny.
Yep.
The battery compartments just look like AAA compartments.
So you can put AAAs in here if your rechargeable battery packs run dead.
Ah.
So it's actually double cut. So you've got AAAs this way, and then you've got a rectangle this way to take a rechargeable battery.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
But if you look at the contact placement between the red one and the black one, the red one's more towards the middle, and this one's more towards the top.
Yeah, so it comes down to when one company was making it, they got a good deal on one battery, and the other company got a good deal on a different battery.
Could be, probably, yeah. So, but they've obviously reused the same molds, but there's minor variations. Like the contact points are different, and this is full of plastic through here, so it's not like the contacts just could have been anywhere. And there's also a hole cut for a micro SD card right here on the ARM-based one.
Huh. Mike said he'll take the boards if they're scrap.
So there is a new print and play video ready to go. It's actually been done since Friday. But it is the first sponsored video on print and play, and I am awaiting feedback from the sponsor before I release it. It is also, by everybody that I've gotten to do the test viewing of it, the best edited video I've done thus far.
Sounds like you spent too much time on it.
That's the story of my life.
See, now you duped me. You told me you didn't have any projects today.
I just thought of this while we were sitting here. It was one of those things I've needed to do.
That leaves me with no projects.
Or prospects.
I'm going to have to dig around and find something to play with.
I think you have a large-scale printer over there somewhere you could play with.
Yeah, but that's 3D printing. That'd be for the old.
You can still have 3D printing.
Mitch just threw down $10.01. I'm the sponsor now.
You're supposed to say, look at me. I'm the sponsor.
Coke doesn't know. Hashtag Coke doesn't know this stream exists.
I mean, maybe a Coke employee has seen it before.
I wish. Wow, that took a long time for Streamlabs to notify me of that. I wish that StreamYard handled these banners better. You can edit them, but you can't.
Trying to detach the screen without breaking anything. I just lost screws.
Don't lose the screws.
It's too late. They're gone. Now there's a big old fingerprint on the screen.
I can't get this chair to adjust the right spot. This is the one that Uncle Ron sat in last week. Oh, there's no telling what he did to it while I was here.
unspeakable things.
Oh.
So I'm most curious because I'm positive the boards are going to be different, but I'm most curious as to whether or not it's going to have the same screen in it.
Yeah, because like the plastic casing on it looks really, really, really the same.
It absolutely. They've definitely reused the molds and maybe like modified something slightly.
Yeah, I was going to bring up from the garage my next big project, but I didn't have a chance to dig it out of the garage. So
I
Oh,
My
that's
original-
right. Uncle Ron said I lowered it so you didn't feel short. Yeah, because if you put these chairs all the way up, then they're rigid. You got to let them down just a little bit so that it's got a little give, but not too much, or then I'm short.
I just realized that some of these screws are different lengths, and I've just been mixing them. So,
You'll figure it out when you got to put it back.
or I'll lose my. I think this one was $8.
Screws would cost you more than that. All right, so my Fun King Garage channel is officially over 30 days old. Maybe. No, maybe not yet. Oh yeah, it is. So over 30 days old. So now I got to get my 100 subscribers and I can lock my name in. I hired a videographer.
Did you actually?
Kinda.
Is it Sean?
No, but that might work out later too. But no, I actually convinced Xander to be my cameraman.
Oh, I thought you wanted somebody to do a good job of it. My bad.
And no, I think he'll do a good job. And I think that it's good because it'll put him on the back side of the camera and force him to watch me repair things. You know, like he's going to end up learning something without knowing he's learning something.
Well, now you just told him though.
No, he's not here.
Oh, good.
He should be down showering.
What about when he rewatches this stream?
Yeah, like that's going to happen. You're so funny.
Um,
And not a single helpful video on it, just a bunch of bad language and thrown wrenches. No, I don't throw tools, man.
Do you know what's funny?
Tools. I respect my tools. I don't throw my tools.
So
I won't say I don't break things occasionally, but
so this is the Nintendo System on a Chip. So there's the System on a Chip right there, that glop top right there.
they got the epoxy over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an actual chip, which I'm assuming is flash memory. But here's the interesting thing. So this thing has a cartridge slot on it. So you can add additional games, right? This is the cartridge that came with it. And it says, press downward of card front side. I'm assuming that means it goes in like this. Maybe? I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. But here, okay, so here's getting to the interesting point. That's full of contacts in there. You can see it, right?
Uh-huh.
If we look at the back of the board, there are 3 pins connected on each side of the cartridge slot. So my theory is that if I shorted those out just with my screwdriver, I would probably get access to the extra games. I think there's nothing actually on here.
I wonder how hard it would be to take that cartridge apart. Have you tried metering that cartridge to see if it's a dead short?
I have not, because up until now I hadn't seen that. Let me see if I can find. I do not remember where I stuck my multimeter or multimeter, depending on who you're talking to.
Multimeter.
Well, how do you say it?
Multimeter.
Me too. Oh, there it is.
But you know, like some people call it an altimeter, and I call it an altimeter. No, not really. Uncle Ron said first thing to repair will probably be the camera. Mitch 3D wants to know what the first video is going to be. Boy, that's insider information. I can't be giving that out.
So first, I'm going to check to see if on the board the pins are actually the same on both sides. Okay, so it looks like there is a connection between these. Probably a connection between these. And also these. Okay, dead short. Let's find out. The pins are so small in here, though. I think I should try and maybe pry it apart.
It's got a sticker on one side, yeah?
Yeah, it could be a screw underneath
Hidden
it.
screw in there. Marcus has joined us. Glenn Hogue is also here.
Sweet home Alabama. Oh, it's good. The adhesive is so weak that it took me no effort to actually get the corner up on it.
Oh, good.
Hey, look, single screw.
Nice.
If I tried to pry it apart, I would have been screwed.
Yeah, but now you don't know how to put the cartridge in because it says label side down.
Oh, it's true. I might actually do, like, if this ends up being interesting enough, I might actually do a formal video on this.
If you put the sticker on the other side, then you do put the cartridge in the other way too.
Well, there's the circuit board.
Any chip on it at all?
I haven't flipped it over yet.
Oh.
Should we take bets?
I say that there is nothing on it.
We'll take bets in chat. Whoever we'll pick out of everybody that guesses right. That one of the people will win a chance to sponsor the stream for 5 minutes, and then it reverts back to Mitch, who wants to see their name up on it. Keeping in mind that makes Glenn do extra work.
It does make me do extra work.
So we're betting whether or not there is or is not a chip somewhere on the opposite side of this. Nobody cares.
Nope. Nobody wants to see their name in lights.
Glenn Hogue says nothing inside.
Well, you got that before I did. 24/7 Hinky says there's a chip. I mean, I would think at the most it's got a resistor, but I'm thinking there's nothing on there.
I think it's literally just going to be contacts joined together on the inside.
3D Homebrew says nope. But see, now there's too many people voting, and then how do you put all those names up?
I don't know. I'm the ideas guy. You have to figure it out.
Thanks a lot, you jerk.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take care of it, buddy.
Okay. Shall we call it then?
Yeah, come on. I want to see.
Okay. It's just shorts between pins.
What is the mark, which would be now by your left thumb?
There's
white silk screening.
It looks like there are spots for. So there's contact points.
Like maybe capacitors or resistors, or
It does look like maybe space for surface mount resistors, but there's 3 pads instead of 2.
huh?
But other than that, if I trace it, and we can probably test this with the multimeter, but we can conclusively say there's in fact no chip there.
Definitely no chip. So anybody that said no chip, you're the winner.
You know what? How many people said no chip? Maybe they all sponsor it. We'll just put this one's sponsored by.
And James lies. You get nothing. You win absolutely nothing except disappointment.
They got that when they tuned in.
Disappointment is free in every stream.
Yeah, so it looks like all it does is short the 3 pins from this side over to the middle pin on this side. So then if we want to actually put that into test, hopefully I can
chips and dips.
What was that?
Uncle Ron said no chips and dips. That's surprise.
He said no chips, you dip.
Come visit me. I'll take you to Chili's for free chips and salsa. What happened to the lock on this? Did you take it off or did it fall off? Xander? Xander?
Yeah.
Did you take the lock off of this or did it fall off?
It fell off.
You want me to put it back on? Where is it? Now I got to loosen it.
So there's the Family Pocket. Oh, that looks not ideal. It's because the power isn't perfectly connected. Okay, so then if we, I might regret doing this.
Uncle Ron said, "Now you tell me I just got home." Did you break it?
No.
No, not you, James.
Not you, comma James, or not you, James?
It was not you, Xander. I'm speaking to James.
Maybe. Maybe.
Oh. Did you put the cartridge in backwards?
There's only contacts on one side though, so if I put it in backwards, nothing should happen.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Okay, so it still works. The I must have put the cartridge back in backwards though. So when I said I might regret this, it was putting the cartridge in without the plastic around it.
Oh.
Oh boy, we do have fun though, don't we?
Ron said 16 hours, 45 minutes to get home. That's not bad. See, you could come back for chips and salsa.
The salsa might have turned by the time he gets back, but you know.
Well, I would wait till he got here.
Would you?
Yeah. And even then, I'm not sure I would actually go to Chili's right now because I still don't eat in restaurants.
Welcome to Chili's. Okay.
Next weekend. So I am very pleased to say that the governor of our state of Florida has changed the COVID vaccine age as of tomorrow to be 40 and up. That qualifies me. Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Because it was 50 and I'm somewhere in between them two. So, so now I can start fighting for a time slot as of tomorrow morning. Go get the vaccinations. And then as of, I don't know, like April 15th or something, it's open to everybody 18 and up. Too bad for the children.
Okay, so as far as I can tell, as long as I cross any of the pins from the one side to the other, it should work. Now I just need a piece of wire to prove it. This will probably do it.
That's really super funny. That so like if you don't put the cartridge in at all, there is a game on there.
The majority of the games are accessible when the cartridge is not installed. The cartridge is supposed to be, oh, here's a bonus cartridge with an extra 130 games on it to add to your collection. And it turns out they're all just there.
Well, yeah, because they're definitely not in that cartridge.
Okay, so hopefully I've got this wired right.
Uncle Ron said, didn't your diabetes qualify you before? Yes, but there was a form that I would have had to have my doctor fill out, and I didn't know about it till after my doctor's appointment. And then I found out that as of Monday, it doesn't matter anymore anyway. So, and Glenn Hogue says he has an appointment in June. Wow, June, that's a long time. They got to do something better about rolling these vaccines out.
Getting power to this thing is a pain in the butt when what I need is a bench power supply with clips and stuff.
That'd be pretty fancy.
Okay.
You know, you can build one with a PC power supply relatively easy.
I guess define easy.
Well, you 3D print a housing, put some banana plugs on there and a couple of wires, and boom, power supply.
How smart do you think I am?
Apparently not that smart. Mark says he's scheduled to be down my way in June. I can wave as you go by. Yeah, I have a feeling that you won't be actually like my way. Nobody is where I am. Turn a squad. Is it not doing it?
It's not doing it. Where did I put the stupid cartridge? There it is. Clearly I'm not as smart as I thought I was. So let's start with this. These three here. I don't know how visible they're going to be on the camera now.
Yeah, it's not focusing. I'm gonna put you up full screen so that.
Come on.
You know, it's 2021. Why can't we have cameras that actually autofocus correctly?
Come on. Like, I don't know what part of what part of the screen it's supposed to be focusing on.
It's like focusing on the palm of your hand. It doesn't care what you're holding.
I could do it manually, but it's such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And it just had it for a split second.
Well, yeah, as it was refocusing on your tabletop.
There
you go.
So you can see the 3 pins on the right are all actually just connected to each other. And they go across, they go through these pads on the side that have nothing on them. And then they connect to, it looks like pin 3 on this side. So I'm going to double check the tracing on here. So I think this should be a dead short here. Maybe not. That's a dead short to the middle pin. Okay, so middle pin on. Make sure I do this right. Middle pin on this side goes to any of the pins on the other side. Yes. Okay. Let's go middle pin here. Maybe it has to go to all of them, actually.
It's just a dead short all the way across.
Yeah.
Bobby Ron said for COVID shots, check Lake County Department of Health. Appointment only at the Sears. Wow, all the way at the Lake Square Mall. I can get it at Publix. Pick up some ice cream, get a shot in the arm, you know.
Okay, let's see if...
I think they should do it at like fast food drive-thrus and stuff. You know, instead of, would you like fries with that? Would you like a COVID vaccination with that?
There's no good way to get at that pin.
Well, and more so, have you taken the other one apart?
Halfway. It's completely different on the inside, though.
Does that? That one doesn't have the slot.
Well, it does have a cartridge slot.
Oh, it does have a cartridge slot.
But it doesn't make any sense that it has a cartridge. Well, I mean, maybe it works, but like, okay, I'm gonna try this one more time, if I can. It's a lot of things to hold steady. Am I using the right battery?
It's just really weird that they would do that. You know, like, is it just to make you feel good? Oh, I have the cartridge. I have an extra. Then you accidentally lose the cartridge and you can't play those games.
Even though they're still there.
Right.
I can't quite.
So you fold up a Mountain Dew can and jam it in there.
There they are. See?
It's just a big white blur, but
so there's the 130 in one. Okay? That's what's supposed to be on the cartridge. So if I then kill the power, disconnect my cable and plug it back in, we get the English and Chinese selection menu for the rest of the games.
So now if the cartridge is in, can you access the games that are on there, or does it have to be an either or?
Either or. So what I could do is solder a lead to each of those and put a switch here.
Yeah, so that it's like an on-off switch.
Yeah. I think that would make a better video though than doing it now. I don't know. I've got so much to do anyways. I could just do this now and be done with it. Let's put it aside and look at the guts on the other one and see what it's doing with its cartridge slot.
Yes, let's do that.
I think it's going to be much of the same story. I don't think I've actually inserted a cartridge into this one yet. So key differences so far, other than the fact that they are going to be completely different. This one had a detachable screen, whereas this one is, so you flip the screen back, the ribbon cable's directly soldered to the board underneath the pad.
Okay.
Whereas this one here, the screen, it could, I think the screens might be, no, they're not the same. Same size though, which they would have to be to reuse the mold.
Right.
And then there's a control board on the back of the screen. And then got to remove a couple of screws.
You figure soldering the screen directly would save you, a penny on the socket, and you produce enough of them, that's big savings.
Yep.
Bob Carnes, $12.50 through Super Chat. Don't be a project tease. Let's get it done. P.S. I'm the sponsor now.
Come on. I think it's this battery contact that's going to be a pain. I'm just making sure that there aren't any additional screws before I try and sort of pry it out, I've broken one or two things thinking that I got all the screws out and it was just being stubborn. Ever happened to you?
Yep.
It's like, oh yeah, there's an extra screw under this one foot or something like that you wouldn't there's no reason for it to be there as far as you can tell.
So I want you to know that I've completely messed up with these scrolling banners at the bottom. From the get-go, I should have always made spelling mistakes or something in them just to make them more fun.
I can't tell if the speaker's different or they just got lazy and didn't pull off the little paper tab, but it kind of, if that paper tab's not supposed to be there, it explains why the audio isn't very good.
It gets louder when you take the paper tab off of there.
It's got volume control, so.
It's one of the modifications I did to my Prusa is I stuck Gorilla Tape over the top of that thing so it wasn't so loud. So I do want to say thank you to Bob for $12.50 US. It is greatly appreciated.
I'm so terrible at that. I never say thank you. So thank you.
Which is weird being you're Canadian.
So it's the exact same 6 contact points on both sides.
That's funny.
But in terms of the backs of the boards, completely different.
But now the blue board one, that was the black one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That one already had all the games in it.
No. It just didn't come with the cartridge. I don't know what putting a cartridge into this one does. It has, it has a micro SD slot, which I don't know where I put that micro SD card. Whoops.
Yeah, who needs one of those?
I've just got a pile of parts underneath here now.
Say thank you for being run off the road. Listen, guys, apparently it is no longer acceptable to make fun of Canadians.
Are you talking about because that thing from
Joel's YouTube? Yeah. Yep. So
I gave him a pass.
It's not.
I didn't want to, but it seemed like the polite thing to do.
It's it's no longer acceptable to. This world has really gone soft, hasn't it? I mean,
you know what? I see both sides of it. If somebody's offended by something, it's not. I don't think it's up to me to tell them not to be offended. And there's been a lot of stuff too where I've had discussions with family members, and they complain about something that's been changed or whatever, and why are they making such a big deal? And I say, okay, but on the other side, why are you making such a big deal of it? How does it affect you? Like, well, that's the way it's always been. Yeah, but like, does it matter that much? Like, what difference does it make to you? And then when you start throwing it's the principle of the thing, I'm like, okay, but what's the actual loss? I know that there are some things where like maybe the fight's stupid or whatever, but by and large,
but I mean, where does one get off taking away my rights to make fun of Canadians?
Glenn, you've changed my mind. I see that.
I just thought it was really funny because like I'm like, I make fun of Canadians, but I have friends that are Canadians.
So the good news is I didn't break it.
Oh, that's good.
So now we're gonna ram the cartridge into it from the other one. I think I'll put it back together for this.
Are you gonna actually ram the cartridge in, or are you gonna just insert it?
I'm gonna dodge ram it right in there. In case you care, Evan.
Dodge, ram, dodge, ram, dodge. Can't make up my mind.
I never even considered that the name is contradictory. Unless it's order of operations, like dodge first, ram second.
Dodge, ram, yeah. Kind of like Army intelligence.
Okay, so I think like this.
There's another Canadian here too, guys. Well, there's actually quite a few of y'all's in the chat. So, but in fairness, as a disclaimer to put it out there, yes, I do make fun of James for being Canadian. No, I don't hate Canadians. I think Canadians are wonderful people, and I really do have. I mean, more than James, I have more friends in Canada.
I didn't think you had more friends. Period.
I don't, but don't tell everybody that. Gosh.
Okay, so this is interesting. So the batteries have the same voltages on them, and I believe this is the one for here. But this is so the one that came with the ARM-based processor on it has a 700 milliamp battery, and the one for the other one is an 1800 milliamp battery.
Huh.
But I think, and we're going to test it since the voltages are the same, I should be able to take the one from the other one, and even this pin spacing is the same. So I think I should be able to, like, I don't understand why they didn't just stick with this.
Well, again, they probably got a good deal on the other battery.
Oh, they've got a buttload of them, and
yeah, they probably had like 10 shipping container loads of them and had to do something with them.
No, maybe I'm wrong. Positive and negative. Add positive to positive. Let's see if this turns it on. I guess.
Uncle Ron said, I feel I have the right to say what I want. You have the right to be offended by it. See, both of our rights are protected.
Oh, so look, inserting the game card does give me access to more games.
Huh.
It's interesting that the same cartridge has different games on it depending on which system you plug it into. It's almost like there aren't any games on it at all.
It's a magical cartridge.
Makes
So
sense.
how many games do you get off of that one?
130? Is that what the cartridge says on it? That's the accuracy they've kept. The game count stays the same. Now I feel like I need to like compare them to find out if it's the same titles. Of course, to do that, I feel like I need to put this back together.
And what kind of games comes on that thing for $8?
So the $8 one is the red and gold one. It's just a collection of like 500 NES games. The other one was $18, and it's Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Gear, Sega Master System, Sega Game Gear, Sega Genesis. Like for the cost of the unit, it is a very good selection. It's got 8 gigs worth of games or something like that.
Wow. That sounds like an absolute copyright infringement.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
That's super fun.
I'm going to have a heck of a time putting this back together because of all the dinky little plastic nubbins that need to go places.
Yeah,
Dinky little plastic nubbins. That was my nickname in high school.
Plastic nubbins.
Okay, so let's see.
Should we change the name of the stream to the Glenn and Nubbins Show?
The Glenn and Nubbins Show.
What's really a good thing that we didn't have a theme written for that last train wreck of a live stream we used to do.
Yeah, This one's going to be so much better. He lied.
I think when I finally find somebody to write a jingle for us, I'm just going to use like a generic name, like, welcome to the insert the title of the stream this week here.
It's time to stream the stream now. It's time to do the thing. It's time for some people to get together.
Now, Mark, if you send me stuff live during the stream, then I have to talk about it.
Is that how the sponsorship works? I think I'm putting this together back.
Oh, that's pretty exciting.
Snape
Sounds like a great idea to me. I got no nubbins and Glenn. James has top billing.
As it should be.
Oh, you may never have wanted to say that. That could stick. What's up, nubbins?
Nothing says loving like chatting with the nubbin.
Oh,
I hope I ruined your show for you.
you hope it ruins my show.
Yeah, absolutely.
No way, that just made my day. Well, I don't know who subscribed to Fun King Garage, like, since I posted the link, but thank you. I appreciate it. McNubbin. Nubbins and Noggin. All right, knock it off, Uncle Ron.
Nubbins in the hair.
Tune in to Nubbins in the morning.
So when I was in elementary school, and I don't remember how much of this, so I had to, like you had to write poems, right? Like in English or whatever. Had to write poems, and I thought I was being funny. As
opposed to writing them in French?
What?
As opposed to writing them in French?
Too. You say that, but like seriously. I thought I was being clever. So the teacher's like, you have to write this poem. So I wrote this one, and I'm trying to remember how it went. But I wrote this section, and it's like, wow, I'm ruining the joke. I should have written it out in my head before I went into it. But it was basically, I'm trying to be funny, so I'm like talking about, it's like, he used to I was talking about my old friend Mike, and it's like he used to run. He ran around without a care. Now he's in a wheelchair. Right. He was a kid that had it all. He climbed a tree and started to fall. And the thing was, we had to hit a number of lines, so I just stopped there and I handed it into the teacher. And his only criticism was everything rhymes, but you didn't finish the story. You can't end a poem on he climbed a tree and started to fall. And I argued the story was complete because I started off by telling how the story ends, and then I worked the story backwards.
Oh, that's funny.
That teacher,
hello to John Mack. John Mack slid in there. I didn't even see him pop in.
That teacher went on to write Donnie Darko using the same premise.
Oh, Nubbins in the garage, dude. Oh,
Nubbins sees you where you been. Okay, we're making progress. Oh, I've been trying to figure out why it won't go back together. It will not go back to. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, oh, did I lose the SD card?
lose it.
No, we're good. I thought so. It wouldn't go back in because the SD card has to go in through the hole for the SD card. So I pushed on it to release it, and when I pushed on it, there was nothing blocking it, so it slid down, and I thought it slingshotted the SD card out through the hole, and I just lost it. But it's still there. It just doesn't stick out very much.
So is that SD card is meant to be able to be removed?
It is. They modified it slightly by cutting a small hole in it so you can get to it through the battery compartment.
Oh. The Dukes of Hazardous.
Just the good old boys. Never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. They'll listen to that later and be like, "This should be a copyright, but his singing's terrible, so it's better that we don't claim it."
Thank you for that link, Tom. I will check that out.
Thank you to everybody that's made a donation, especially the person that makes the next donation.
Yeah, it looks like Bob Carnes is like totally dominating.
Dominating. How did you get rich? Goading people into making donations on the internet.
Just so they could have their name and lights for 5 minutes.
If they're lucky. What if the next donation comes in less than 5 minutes?
That gives me a great idea for a project that I'm not going to share out loud with you guys.
I've got an idea. Did you ever hear of a show called You Can't Do That on Television?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we'll put a slime bucket above, let's say, Xander, and every time somebody makes a donation that's higher than the previous donation, he gets slimed.
Yeah, but the slime would be expensive, so the donations would have to start at like $100.
That's fair. What if it's just corn syrup?
Oh, it's what do they call that? It's corn starch. Corn syrup would be really nasty.
I know. That's why I picked it. I'm trying to be mean to your kid, Glenn. Why can't you just let it?
Yeah, I have a great idea. I have a great idea for a project. Thank you, guys. And I promise I will share it with you guys eventually. But
guys, I wouldn't worry about it too much. When's the last time Glenn completed a project?
Well, the cool part is the base of this project is actually already done and is sitting over there as a half-finished project.
Well, that's good.
It was a project that I made for something else, and I decided to go a different direction. This could be great.
Could it?
Figure out the interface.
So this is supposed to go like this. Oh boy.
What tune would a Canadian General Lee play?
I don't know, but the words are sorry.
I'm sure the tune would be really sorry too.
It'll be the Justin Bieber song that Is It Too Late Now to Say Sorry? Frickin' Canadians, am I right?
I know it. Whew. Yeah, I really like this idea, guys. Thank you. You don't even know
about, so you're just constantly teasing.
What's that?
I said that you've told nobody about, so you're just teasing everybody.
I know. Well, really, all I wrote down on that paper was, "Ha, they're going to think I really have a project idea."
Well,
I will give a hint that it will require a lot of LEDs. Because every project should require a lot of LEDs.
Is your project regular or un-LEDed?
Un-LEDed?
Yeah.
No, it's fully leaded.
But not fully vetted. We haven't discussed it yet.
That's right.
Okay. I guess we gotta put these screws back in now.
Oh, like the brain thing's working right now, man.
So I will ask anybody that watches my new video that's going to come out hopefully tonight or tomorrow. If you like it, and do you have anywhere where you think it would be relevant to share it, please do so.
Well, that should go forth with all videos, whether you like them or not.
I usually don't ask because I don't want to come off as like begging for clicks or whatever. But I did spend extra time to make sure this video, in my opinion, is extra good. And I think it would also be better for the sponsor to see the videos being more successful than, or at least as successful as some of my other videos have been. So, you know. This one's just about back together.
Tom said the project's convincing us you're actually going to do something, huh, Glenn? That's it.
Now you're projecting. Okay, so let's see if I broke it first of all. We'll load the SD card back in.
Going to be a stepper motor and a roll of toilet paper to scroll sponsors. I wouldn't waste toilet paper like that.
That idea.
As I understand it, we could have another shortage coming soon because of this whole shipping fiasco.
Okay, I was kidding when I said I broke it, but
Did you break it?
oh, nope, there we go.
It just needed a good rebooting.
Oh, it's so much louder now.
Is it really?
Also, One Direction doesn't work. And the LED is not properly lined up anymore. Did I put this wrong? I'm like, did I put this back in the wrong case?
No, that's the blue one, so that should be right. You must have missed a nubbin.
So up and right work, but down and lefty not. So if I can get to Super Mario, I can still beat Mario. Let's see. Okay, that's gonna be the challenge now. I'm gonna try and beat Mario with the thing literally half working. I can't because it's on the other side of the screen.
Oh.
Lame. Like, I guess I'm getting to Mario Land for the Game Boy. Oh my god, that's loud.
That is like screechingly loud.
And that wasn't even full volume.
What'll be really funny now is if you can't turn it down enough to not be screechy because you took that tape off of it.
No, it actually sounds significantly better than it did.
Yeah.
Bleep bloop. Do 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 do. There's no going back.
Oh, you guys are so kind. I'm up to 16 subscribers. Hoorah!
And down to 15.
Well, and then it says on here, this channel doesn't have any content.
I died. Okay, I gotta fix this now. And then we have to take a look at the hidden games that I found by jamming the cartridge from the other one into this one.
That's right.
Making an unholy alliance. What went wrong? It's because I'm not good at building anything. Do, 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 do,
Yeah, Uncle Ron, those piezo speakers are generally like the casings around them are sealed, like they're all epoxied shut. So then if you get no air movement at all, it muffles it pretty hard.
Well, because the diaphragm can't move.
Yeah, like I said, I put just a piece of Gorilla Tape on the because the buzzer in the Prusa printer, the pitch cut me like bad, so I took it back apart and put a piece of tape over it to shush it. That's better than the 4 thumbs up on the stream. What? We only have 4 thumbs up? Man, you guys are sad.
More than we deserve, but less than we want.
Why don't you guys leave me a comment down below on why you don't give me any thumbs up? What are you doing? This is the face you get when you don't thumbs up.
This is the face of utter sadness. Okay, we have left and right now. I may not know the difference between right and wrong, but I know the difference between left and right.
Well, just remember, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 4 lefts do. Oh, wait, maybe it's only 3 lefts.
4 lefts just brings you back where you started.
Yep, turn around 360 degrees and walk away.
The number of people that fell for that and were like, actually, you're done. Did you see my So somebody left a comment on one of my videos and downvoted it and said Python equals or dislike or something like that.
Wow.
And I was like, oh. So I'm like, oh, so based on the language I program in, you're going to give it a thumbs down. That's okay. So I responded with, don't you mean Python equals dislike? Comparison.
Uncle Ron, that's very possible. I mean, that kid is a little ADD, so there's no telling. Hey, Zach. Zach, are you still up here? Come, say hi to all the people.
Oh.
He's not even wearing the right shirt.
There's the tag. Uncle Ron said his Zach's shirt on backwards. I said, probably. He's ADD. He's so much fun.
Yeah, for less than $20 Canadian, you get a whole lot of piracy.
That is a lot of piracy for.
Like, look at all these pirated games.
I might have to, just for research purposes, I might have to look into getting one of those.
I'll fire you a link. I bought it on the slow boat. And the thing is, too, is because it's on an SD card, if there's games on here that you first of all, if there's games on here you have no interest in, you can delete them. But if there's games missing that you'd like to be playing, well, you can tack them in there, too.
So that one, everything is actually on the SD card. The other one, everything's under the epoxy.
Yeah. Yeah, because on the other one, there is no SD card.
Well, it's under the epoxy.
So one of the things I would like to do, potentially, is gut this thing and try and build it, because like the buttons feel terrible. It's just, it feels like every bit like an $18 console. But I thought it would be a cool project to try and 3D print a new shell and new buttons and stuff for it and turn it into something that doesn't suck as bad. Not that it sucks, because it's definitely, like, I think it's worth the money that I paid for it.
Yeah, but you could shape it like an Xbox controller or whatever, so it's more comfortable, and then just put the screen. I mean, it would be a little bit bigger, but who cares? Pirate Special 2 for the price of 3. The more you buy, the more expensive they get.
Okay, let's fire in the cartridge. I'm going to put the screw back in it before I forget.
Yeah, if I order one of those now, I should have it by Christmas time.
Next
2022.
It's funny when we make the same joke to each other. I can't tell if that's just not the right screw or if it was cross-threaded when I got it. Let's try this one. I really do need to get like literally anything to keep the screws separate when I pull things apart. Okay, so this does say that it has 130 games on it.
I was going to say to you, go to Harbor Freight and get one of those magnetic dishes, but I forget you don't have Harbor Freight. I happen to have one of those magnetic dishes right here. I really need Harbor Freight as a sponsor. So Harbor Freight, if you're listening,
fight with Coke Zero.
But no, these things, and it doesn't do anything for brass, but and it doesn't really do anything when you just throw a bunch of screws in here. But like when you take a laptop apart or whatever, you can actually set them in order as you take them out, like almost like a diagram, and it's works quite well.
So I'm going through the 130 games that are on the cartridge, and I'm not recognizing any of them.
Sean Butler in the house.
Here we go.
Recognizing any of them?
I found one that I recognize.
Dude, you can't play that sound. We're going to get demonetized.
They're going to take all the donations.
That's right. So for research purposes, if I was going to look one of those up, what would I search for?
Let me see if I got my phone. Maybe I can just help you with that right now.
I mean, just for research purposes.
Yeah. Getting tired of having to change my password every time I do a live stream because I forget. Somebody sees me unlock my phone. Yeah. So the person said Python equals dislike. And I reply with, "Don't you mean Python equals dislike?"
People are jerks. Yeah, almost every time that you get somebody that's willing to leave something like that, they're really just looking for the attention. They're trying to get you to talk to them so that they can be like, that YouTuber talked to me.
Okay, let's find you the thingamajig. I wonder when I put more orders through on Amazon or AliExpress. Because the thing is, when I'm buying stuff, it's like, oh, I need 20 of these. Oh, it's not free shipping after 3? Well, guess I'm putting in 7 orders.
Yeah, that's always really weird. I mean, I've done that. Like you get one, it's free shipping. You get 2, and it's like $13 shipping. I'm like, nope. I order one. 5 minutes later, I order another one.
Yep.
But there's also been stuff that I found on Amazon that, you know, there was a set of wireless headphones that I bought a while back, a couple Christmases ago, and they were $10. So I threw like 4 pairs in the cart. Well, then they weren't $10. You could only get one for $10. So I ordered one. Then I ordered one. Then I ordered one. Then I ordered one. And I'm like, this is great. And
So
they all broke. They were garbage.
The price has gone up, unfortunately. They are like $33 Canadian now.
Oh, so like $8 US.
Sure, why not? What did you say about not making fun of Canadians anymore?
I wasn't making fun of Canadians. I was making a statement that your money is worth less than ours. It's how much Canadian?
It was 33.
$25.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, $24.48. There's an anniversary deal that starts in 9 hours and 18 minutes. Family Pocket. Why would you name it Family Pocket?
Because the original console in Japan was called the Famicom, or the Family Computer. So this is the it's the family computer for the pocket.
Yeah, but Family Pocket gives me like terrible images in my brain of like, you know, one person having a pocket and everybody gets to store their stuff in there. Get like a half-eaten lollipop stuff down in there. Does it come with the USB controller?
Mine didn't, I don't think.
This picture is showing an AV cable and a USB game controller, which looks like utter garbage, but
it looks like a miniature version of the console, doesn't it? I did get one, but I think it came with the other one.
no, it looks just like a little controller. It's got 4 buttons and
I wish I had a micro USB to USB adapter, because I'm wondering if you can just connect any USB gamepad to it, since it's ARM based. So maybe the USB just has host abilities. But I don't have one.
Oh! Read the fine print. 2-player games require the purchase of a USB interface controller, so it doesn't come with them.
Oh, there's a game on here called Turtles.
I like turtles.
Let's start it up and see if it's... Ah! This is definitely an NES game. Yeah. Oh, this is Lode Runner, I think.
Lode Runner.
But this... Okay, you can't tell, probably. But the main character's been replaced with a Ninja Turtle. See if I can get it to come on, focus in. You're a garbage camera and you should feel like garbage. There. It's Raphael.
That's pretty funny.
No.
That's pretty funny.
It actually has save states and everything too, because it's full blown emulators on it. Let's see if there's anything else I'm interested in.
I'm tempted to pick one of these up just for science reasons.
Plus, at some point I'm going to redesign the casing for it to make it something better. So then you could just reprint my hard work.
Right. Ride the coattails.
That's right.
1091 game.
Probably. Oh, I think this is Side Pocket, which is my wife's father's favorite Nintendo game. It's called Billard 2008. Oh, maybe this is just regular.
It doesn't have built-in games. It has butt-in games.
Butt-in games?
BUT-IN, butt-in 1091 game. A total of 1091 non-repeat classic games. Passionate and fun. The only problem is with that massive 3-inch screen, I'm going to have to wear them cool glasses that Uncle Ron gave me so I can see it to play it.
He's all right.
3D Maker Kid in the house.
Oh, we're just letting anybody in today.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, like when you post it publicly, just anybody can meander in.
I'm so much better at digital pool than I am at analog pool. Ooh, it's gonna be a tricky shot. Did it. Welcome to Project Talk with James and Glenn, where James plays crappy digital pool on a handheld from China.
That nobody can see.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm going to have to try and play through the camera now.
You got to get an AV cable and then screen cap it.
I could do that, actually. It does have AV out.
I know. That's why I said that. Such technology. Yeah, I didn't schedule the stream until after you and I talked today, just because I wasn't sure if I was even going to make it back in time. That junkyard was huge, and like there's a map on their website, like there's a layout of the yard, and it showed that like it was all domestic stuff, and then down and kind of around the corner was the import stuff. And so I walked all the way down there before I realized that they had wheelbarrows for you to use. I walked down there with my big old tool bag, and then I seen all these people with wheelbarrows, and I couldn't find the car I was looking for. So I went back, got a wheelbarrow, found out it was the second row in from the door. Like you come out of the door of the building, and it was just right there.
But think of all the cardio you got.
Oh yeah. Oh, my watch was quite pleased with me. It kept buzzing at me going, good job, keep it up.
Keep it up.
But it's hot today. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it's 86 right now. And I was out. Oh no, that's an old update. It is 82. But I got there about 9:30, and it was all right. And within about an hour of being out there, boy, I was sweating up a storm.
I done goofed. I'm gonna lose. It's desperation.
Clint wants to know if we're going to be streaming next Sunday. I'm pretty sure.
It is Easter.
What's that?
It is Easter, but
oh, it is Easter.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have anywhere to go.
My family doesn't like me anymore, so I'm not invited to Easter dinner.
Are they actually having an Easter dinner?
I don't know. Like I said, they don't like me anymore.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. I didn't realize that it's Easter already.
It's your Easter, Meester. Okay, let's see if I can put this other one back together now too.
See that means I have to talk to the wife.
The
But
home minister.
I don't think that we have anything going on. Because even if we go to church service, which we're debating, because again, COVID,
God hears you no matter where you are.
it would be in the morning, and I'd be home by then. So I guess it really comes down to if you're not doing anything in the evening, I'm not doing anything in the evening, and yes, we'll stream.
And would you guys prefer that we? Well, I guess we'll keep things the way they are. I was gonna say, would you guys prefer that we stream at 4 instead of 4:30?
No, I don't want to be jumping it around. If we're going to do 4:30s, we're going to do 4:30s. If we
You're
start
not-
moving around, then people get lost. And there was that one guy that one time, and we never found him.
I mean, there's a couple of people I wish would get lost.
Just that one guy.
Shane on us.
Is there a Wester?
When's the last time Shane was in one of our streams?
I don't know. He doesn't come around much anymore.
Must have been that one thing that you said to him.
That one thing, yeah.
Yeah, don't come around anymore.
Something like quit being a jerk, and I don't ever want to see you in one of my live streams again. Sean Butler said, I thought it was 5:30. No, that's just for you, Sean.
Sean Butler's schedule is whenever I show up.
He said, that's me. James wishes I'd get lost daily.
Wait, who did I tell get lost daily?
Sean Butler.
Oh, that's true. He messages me on Facebook talking about his pinus and stuff, and I'm just like, don't want to hear about it, bud. Get lost.
Facebook? Who messages people on Facebook?
Is that
What
what
a horrible platform that is. I don't know if I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do it like via a website or if I'm going to write a book, or maybe I'll just do a video series of how not to sell things on Facebook. I'm telling you, I could go on for days. So Facebook, I think Facebook Marketplace has some kind of a how can I say this family friendly? I think there is a ring going on of the female persuasion. Does that make sense?
No.
So my Facebook Marketplace feed seems to get an influx of ladies selling clothing, but the ads are always really kind of weird.
Oh,
But my favorite is when they take the picture selling a graphic T-shirt and the picture is like this.
you mean all?
They're trying to block their face out, but they're also blocking out said graphic T-shirt.
The answer to me seems to be just don't wear the shirt when you take the picture. But
Yeah, hang it up put it on a hanger and take a picture of it. Why do you need to be in the photo?
that being said, did you see the picture of the guy that dressed up in his wife's wedding dress to sell it?
Nope, missed that one.
That was funny. Like, guy with like a beard about my beard size, dressed up in a full blown white. And I forget what the story was behind it. If he was literally just trying to get rid of it, if there's she cheated on him or something type story or whatever. But it was pretty funny.
Yeah, no, my other favorite, because a lot of what I look for on Facebook Marketplace is cars and car parts. I love when they list a car part, but then they don't tell you what it fits. Valve cover, $25.
Carburetor.
Yeah, what does it go on?
The valve.
And then like when you reach out to them and you're like, what does this fit? Well, it fits my truck. Great. What kind of truck do you drive, you moron?
Kind with 4 wheels. What kind of truck do you drive?
Yeah, I think I could. I think I could write a whole entire book on how not to go about selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I miss the days of Craigslist.
Lost connections.
I would rather have the scams of Craigslist than to have Facebook Marketplace. Sean said, "Afford." Yeah. How does this fit? Afford. Well, I also like this stuff when you see. Okay. So specifically, I'm looking for Nerf bars for the side of my truck, and I want the factory chrome ones. And they'll post a picture of the running boards or the Nerf boards, Nerf bars, and they'll say like fits Ford and Dodge. I suppose with a welder it will. Like,
Anything will fit anything if you're dedicated enough.
yeah, like, I'm fairly certain it doesn't actually fit both of those without modification. Bless you, Xander. I said bless you.
Thank you.
This thing just doesn't quite want to go back together properly. The power switch.
Well, that's disappointing if it doesn't want to go back together and it didn't like explode or anything. I want to share. I want to share something that I came across on Facebook.
Oh, it's gonna be a good story when you're already laughing louder.
I just have to figure out how to do it without like actually showing my Facebook. I've never even been logged into Facebook on this computer. Maybe I can just download the image.
Oh wait, I think I got it.
You know what? Well, maybe that would be mean. I mean, I could just share a link in the in the chat, and you guys could all just go and look at it. I mean, is there anybody in the chat that doesn't have Facebook? Because that's it seems like the easiest way to go. I'll use the snipping tool. This came up in my feed, which always makes me question what was I looking at to make this come up.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm working on it. I got a screen share.
You've been overselling this, you know. It's not going to be as funny by the time. Oh. How come I'm not surprised? Glenn, I don't understand how this came up in my feed.
That doll. So the worst part is because I clicked on it, you know, because it comes up in a little window, and I'm like, "What is that?" And then I click on it. So now, of course, I have a bunch of dolls in my feed. But let me. You guys can look at chat for a second, because I think you should also see the business end. So here's.
Oh my.
Oh, please tell me that everybody else got as big of a kick out of that as I did, because
That was certainly something. I do question your browser history. 100 p.
well, I mean, like when you're scrolling through the marketplace, they give you like, I guess it depends on how active you are, but you know, a couple 3 lines of stuff, you know, specially for you.
That was in the for you section.
What's that?
Was that in the specially for you section?
No, like as you start to scroll down, you just get a bunch of miscellaneous stuff
near you or whatever.
Yeah, and but because the pictures were small, I couldn't tell what it was, and then yeah, it's like I was hesitant to click on it, but no, I had to. I'm gonna put the link just in case you guys want to actually go check that out on your own, or maybe you want to buy one because she has a couple different ones to choose from.
That's Glenn's favorite, though.
Well, that's the one that was in the image, like in the it's the main thumbnail. Mark said, I don't know how to respond. And Mike Cassell said, which, by the way, hello, Michael. Same here, at a loss for words. Yes, good stuff. Good stuff. No, and then I've been looking at buying, I want to buy a 40-foot shipping container. And that's another one. Like once you click on a couple of those, all of a sudden my whole entire feed was full of shipping containers. David Randolph in the house.
The David Randolph?
The David Randolph. Or a very good imposter, one or the other.
We have to ask Bob Carners if we're allowed to give a shameless Printed Solid plug during his sponsorship section.
Why would we shamelessly plug Printed Solid? What does Printed Solid do?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's when you're supposed to say, like, they sell 3D printing parts.
Well, I wouldn't know because I'm in Canada and they hate Canadians. So.
Touche.
But I hear they create wonderful filament right in the US of A, don't you know?
They do. They do. In some pretty great colors, too.
I hear that if you're a fan of retro computers, you can get 10 number C60 or 10 number 64 and get a good Commodore 64 match. They also have an Amiga color match, I believe. If only there was somebody in chat that could tell us more. And fill in
why would YouTube censor that? So Bob posted Printed Solid is awesomeness, and it censored it.
Because it had all the words that make up or all the letters that make up a specific word in there.
Well, does like YouTube know that Printed Solid is a business, and they're like, oh, no spamming?
Could be. The only thing you're allowed to spam is more YouTube stuff.
Right.
Okay, so this thing is back together, and we wanted to see if the battery falls out when I don't have the back on it. Yes, it does. I wanted to see if the game's on the cartridge, quote unquote, on the cartridge.
I'm going to put this one up on the screen. We don't hate Canadians. We just don't acknowledge their existence.
Welcome to the party, pal. I will say that when I went to Printed Solid, they made me feel like family. You can't ask for more than that.
They told you to get out unless you clean the bathroom?
Exactly. True story. When we left Earth the last time, my wife said, you overspent on filament. We're not buying any more materials or anything. And we stopped at Printed Solid on the way back to Canada. And she insisted that we buy more filament. We bought 7 more rolls before we left. So I don't think this is, because I think the other, I don't think this is the same 130 games.
When I went to Printed Solid, I was excited because the Chris Riley was with me. and I got to buy the Chris Riley dinner at Chick-fil-A, and I was so excited. And then we got on the interstate, and we were coming across the toll, and I didn't have any cash, and the Chris Riley had to pay our toll.
Classic the Chris Riley. So the first game that I clicked on is Adventure Island, but they've replaced the sprite with a terrible Sonic the Hedgehog sprite, and all of the snails in the game have Super Mario's face on their shells.
So do you think they do that to try to not be copyright infringing?
No, a lot of these games are generally called ROM hacks, and they're made by people in the community. They're just messing around with stuff, and then they just go and download the edited ROMs and put them on set. I don't think it has anything to do with that. Although one interesting thing is, so if we kill this and we take out the cartridge, fire it back up. Come on. The first game on here is Mario 3. Okay.
Uh-huh.
We start Mario 3, and they've removed Super Mario Brothers from the title and just says the number 3. Like, no, this isn't Super Mario 3. You can't go after us for copyright infringement.
No, this game's just called 3.
It's also the Japanese version of the game. Do you know how you can tell if it's the Japanese version of the game for Super Mario Brothers 3?
Nope.
I'm going to show you.
Excellent. Get to learn something new.
Okay, so if you're playing the Japanese version of Super Mario Brothers 3, when you go into the level, it does that zoom in effect, and then it does the zoom out. So like you saw the screen like shrink down to a small block. If you're playing the North American release of it, it does the shrink in, but then the screen just pops up.
Weird.
Do I know?
Shave it out of there to make it smaller?
What was that?
Did they shave it out of there to make the game size smaller?
No, I think they took it out to make the gameplay faster. The other big difference is, so right now I am Raccoon Mario.
Uh-huh.
Can you see that?
Yep.
If you're playing the North American version and you get hit, you'll turn into Super Mario. If you're playing the Japanese version, you go right back to Little Mario. So the game is more difficult. And if you fall down a pit in either of them, you die.
David said, we made you feel like family because you were in the USA. The day you crossed that border, ...
Oh, I see. Well, according to you, the day I crossed the border, I ceased to exist.
So it's not really you. It's that stupid border.
Oh.
It's that big mountain where it's really hard to throw stuff over.
Anyway, so there's my two identical video game consoles that are literally not identical at all, but take the same cartridge.
It's just really weird. I mean, they look the same.
They've definitely used the same shell. The fronts are identical. This one says full speed 70 frames. Simulator FG3000 on the bottom. But other than that, they're identical. I should have actually tried to swap the front panels just to see, but...
Yeah, do that. After you've been working on it for what, an hour and a half?
Look, we got another 23 minutes to fill.
Okay, start the stopwatch.
No, I'm not going to do that. Sounds like a whole lot of effort I don't want to do or put in right now.
You die falling in the pit in Japan and North America, but in Australia you level up.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what happened to everybody. Nobody's beaten Bob Carnes. 1250 is the magic. It's the magic number today, apparently. Oh. Oh. I'm kind of bummed that junkyard is so far away from my house. I have one of those LKQ lots in 3 directions from the house, but they're all about the same distance. So I might have to go to all of them just, for a comparison. Even though right now I don't need any more parts. I just,
Always shopping.
That's right. Well, I had no intentions on buying the spoiler for the back of the car, except for there it was. And
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. Yeah, I'm not even 100% sure I'm going to use it. And then when they rang me up for it, they rang it up as trim because it's small. It's just a lip. It's not a wing or anything. It's just a lip that goes on the trunk lid. But they rang it up as trim and sold it to me for $11. I'm like, hoorah. Bob Carn said, we used to go to junkyards just for fun. David Randolph laying down 1999. This is for Canada.
Okay, so now is the next section sponsored by Dave Randolph or Printed Solid?
I think we've come to the conclusion that it needs to be printed solid because Dave Randolph himself doesn't generate the income. Yeah, when I was in high school, we had a deal with one of the local junkyards in the high school auto shop where we could go and get anything we wanted anytime. You know, within reason. They wouldn't just give us motors, but they would pretty much give us whatever we needed for whatever project we were working on in the junkyard. And then we got to know the guys enough that just extended to pretty much I could have whatever I wanted. So that was always fun. In fact, there was one time we were working on a project AMC Pacer, and they gave us the whole car. Like they scooped it with their tow truck, brought it over and dropped off the whole car, told us to use whatever we wanted off of it, and then they would just come pick up the rest of it when we were done. So that was pretty awesome.
And that was your first car.
Oddly enough, it was my sister's. My sister's was both of them, their first car. My parents bought my oldest sister, I think it was a 76 AMC Pacer, silver with a maroon interior. And then when my other sister got old enough to drive it, got hand-me-downed to her. And luckily for me, by the time I was old enough to drive, it didn't belong to the family anymore. Did you know that the passenger door on a Pacer is actually longer than the driver's door?
I did not know that.
It makes it easier to get in the back seat. Michael Cassell said getting the car for Xander one piece at a time. Yeah, no, just the parts that are broken. That car, we had a 05 Altima, but it was the 2.5 4-cylinder. This is the 3.5 6-cylinder. This car runs like a scalded ape. It is quick for a non-turboed car. David Randolph said, "I'm just an industry icon. Printed Solid's the real MVP." Glenn Hogue says, "I own several Pacers." Like, you still own Pacers like now?
Got to pace yourself.
Well, usually they rotted out pretty bad. AMC made some really cool stuff, and if you look at the Pacer, like if you really examine a Pacer, you will realize that the Pacer was far, far before its time. The fact that it had so much glass around it, it had like no blind spots, you know, and that's why everybody called it, well, Uncle Ron Bubble Car, fishbowl, but I mean, like 6 of them, holy cow. Yeah, it was absolutely before its time. It just, unfortunately, AMC just never really did well. David said, "I can't wait for my first Pacer." Well, my doctor says I can't wait for a Pacer. And no more microwaves for you then, David. No, I was sitting out there on the garage floor Friday night, sticking the JB Weld on that intake manifold. giggling to myself, oh, this is going to work amazing. Way back in high school, we had a Ford 302 V8 that had broken one of the main caps. And we JB welded that main cap back together. And that motor ran for at least 10 years. I lived in a small town. Everybody knew everybody. You seen people all the time. So, like, we would see the guy that owned the car, and he'd say, yep, still running. And then somewhere through, I lost contact with him. So AMC's on cable now. Yeah, they show TV shows about zombies.
That show got canceled, didn't it?
The Walking Dead?
Yeah, I think it's the last season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how far can you go? They've done 10, well, it would have been 11 seasons, but really all they did was make the 10th season longer. But yeah, so I JB welded that intake manifold, and I thought, yeah, this can work great, but
then not as much.
It didn't. No, it was a hairline crack. It's not like there was a gaping hole in there, but it's just amazing the small amount of space that it takes for the air to go through. And my fuel trims, which, fuel trims, you like them to be around 0, but my fuel trims were running upward of 20 to 25 all the time, and stupid computerized car. But I did buy a really nice software package out of Australia that does pretty much everything that the factory Nissan software does. Lets me monitor all kinds of things, and I can program keys and all kinds of cool stuff with it. So it's always fun to be able to hook the laptop up to the car. Oh, 15 more minutes and I can go take a nap before I go to bed.
I think the only thing I want to get to so first of all, Kayleen's been watching my videos.
Well, that's nice. My wife doesn't watch mine.
She's hoping I'll become more successful at them. She might be giving up on you, but her big thing is that she thinks this the background back here, which I agree with, is not great for filming against.
No, it's kind of boring.
It's all well, first of all, it's in kind of rough shape. A couple of the shelves are warped. It didn't turn out perfectly. It didn't turn out as nicely as I had hoped when I put it together. So we were talking about potentially pulling everything off the shelf, gutting it, and putting in different shelving. The other problem I run into is that, so like, you can see more or less both walls on either side of me. Like, this here is up against the wall and here, and this here is against the wall there. So, there's like this much extra space. So with enough room for me to walk beside my desk, there's no way for me to put this on the center of the area. Right. Like, it's more or less on the center. Actually, no, it's not. But there's no perfect way for me to film here, but there's no spot in the basement that I can actually set it up where I could have a perfect setup, I guess. Coupled with the fact that I don't have enough space for my work, like work, and here. So I've got monitors and everything all over the place, and then you're working around those. Right. So I don't know what the perfect solution is. Maybe there isn't one.
Move to Florida.
But you just gave away my spot to Sean.
Oh. I'll build another one.
If I move to Florida, you'll build me a spot to live?
Yeah. I'll just add a bedroom onto Sean's apartment.
Oh, boy.
You can be roomies with Sean.
Yeah, Three's Company. Kay, Sean, and I. Come and knock on our door.
But knock loud, because the door is actually 15 feet away from the apartment. Yeah, I think I'm pretty close to being ready for him to be here. So
that's good.
I mean, like, personally, I'm ready for him to be here, but I mean, getting ready, because he needs space to build his knives and stuff. So I'm trying to get all that set up for him beforehand. And so it'd be cool that the knives are made here in the Fun King Wonderland. So So a trip to IKEA for you then?
No, I think it would be custom. Because
Yeah.
like, right now, so a lot. This is like on either end. It's the Billy bookshelves for my kid, and then I basically put a 2x4 between the two bookshelves, and then put a shelf on top of that for the CRT TV that's behind the projection screen, and then it's custom framing all the way around for the shelves and stuff. The IKEA bookshelves, I put an extra piece down the middle at the bottom to divide it, so that one side was supposed to be for speakers because I had. And you can see there's actually still a speaker sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
This is where our projection area was, obviously the screen. So originally the couch was in front of me where I am now, and you would watch movies on it, and then the screen would roll up and the CRT was there for the old video game consoles. We've also kicked around the idea of putting all the consoles and stuff into storage and just like completely gutting this and turning it into a, like maybe 3D printers across the back of it or whatever, and clean up having basically less stuff here and having that painted nice and have display shelving and stuff above it. But I'm not, because we don't have storage here, so I'd have to rent a locker, and I'm not too keen on storing my entire collection in a storage locker somewhere.
Right.
And plus it would have to be climate controlled. And when you get into the climate controlled here, you're a couple $100 a month, even if you're looking at something small. So.
Hey, Greg, thanks for joining us, man.
We had
right at the end, but better late than never.
We also kicked around the idea of building an 8x12 shed at the end of our property that would be heated and stuff, and setting it up as my filming area. But the snow gets pretty deep in the winter, and I'm pretty sure that would end up being a hindrance to me continuing to produce videos if I have to walk out through the snow.
Well, and I mean, I can understand that too, because we had talked about doing that with the apartment space, turning that into the YouTube studio, moving all the 3D printers out there. But I would really then never print anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to go out there to get it set up and running, as where, typically during the week, if my work week isn't slammed, that's when I do all my printing, because I'm sitting up here anyway.
Yeah.
So by you moving all of this stuff out into a different building, then one of two things is going to happen. You're going to spend all your time out there, and your wife won't appreciate that, or you'll just never go out there. Snowmobile.
I'm also at the point now too. I think I've told you. I dismantled 3 printers for parts.
Right.
I'm getting rid of 3 other ones because they've been staying doing nothing. So I'm trying to free up space and, basically make areas that are decent to film against. I think ideally, but there's no good way for it to work. Ideally, I would have my desk against this wall here, and then the filming backdrop would be my filament wall with, my, say, 4 main printers set up as the background. But the problem is if I put it against the wall here, then there's no space for the camera to be in front of it. And it's not deep enough for me to have the desk inset enough to film against it.
Yeah, my camera from where I sit. How's this for some good video?
That's pretty cool, actually.
Looks to be about 50 centimeters. No, 50 inches. So just a hair over 4 feet.
Mine is not going to be steady enough to do that, but I can get it to like the edge of the desk to get an idea. Just slinking it along here. It's my measuring tape's the same size as yours, but it's in Canadian.
Well, mine's in both.
No, I'm trying to make a joke about the conversion factor, which is why it's so much.
Oh.
You ruined it though, so thanks. So I'd say 30. I'm about 3 feet from the camera. How wide is your table?
Like the tabletop itself?
Yeah.
So these come from Harbor Freight, and they're looks like 51 centimeters or 20 inches, and then I have 2 of them.
I see. So I've got 5 feet from side to side.
Oh, how wide that way? I thought you meant depth this way.
I was gonna say, because you said the number first. I'm like, oh, that's small. And you said, well, I got 2 of them, but So you got 2 back to back, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I don't know how to say this in Canadian. 1.50 m, 1.51 m.
1.5 meters. How many feet is it?
It's
5.5.
just over. It's 59 inches. So no, just under 5 feet. So it's like a half an inch under 5 feet.
Okay.
But
so we're dealing with roughly the same width of space, but yours is set up better because also you could pan the camera down enough that you could get more of the. Right. I need to be like.
Yeah, the problem is if I pan the camera down, then 1, it cuts off my banner, and 2, it starts to cut off my head. Plus, I want the ability to be able to stand and do things as well. So
I don't know.
Yeah, if I let's give everybody a horrific view. So I have this bench up here. See all this crap that you guys don't get to see on camera. And then I have this nice bench over here that you guys do see on camera. So I just push all the mess forward.
Okay, well, because I got Kay to rewatch my latest video, and at the very end of it, I finally noticed that you could actually see all these SD cards in the corner, and she's like, "You got to clean off your desk. You can't just keep pushing things to where you think they can't be seen on camera." I'm like, "Oh, but I don't have space for that."
That's no problem. That's exactly what I do. I mean, I have so much stuff piled over here that you guys can't see. Like you can see just a few things that I laid over here earlier, but
I'm kind of debating if what I want to do then is let me see if I can do this without destroying the universe. I want to like bring everything in more.
Just so everybody knows, Xander will be streaming at 6:30. As soon as we click off of here, he'll be streaming over there on the Twitch TV /PegLegPaul_. So now your table though is just one solid tabletop, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. See, it worked out really well with these. I got these for free when I was working at the Harbor Freight. But what works out really well is I can take this away and bring the whole entire desk for the FK1 over here or whatever I need to do. Like I can move this out of the way very easily, and then my monitors and everything still stay where they are. And if you're going to push your desk to a wall, you can mount the monitors on the wall so that they're up off the desk as well.
So yeah, so I could do that, but then I've just got no place for the camera. The camera obviously needs to be somewhat back from the desk because obviously, like, so now
what's on the other side of that wall?
So there is actually a hole because that was one of my thoughts at one point, but there's now storage. Our laundry room storage shelving is directly behind there.
Okay, so that's the wall that caused the whole problem with the falling of the stuff, and
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could cut a nice little knockout and actually put your camera on the storage shelf in the laundry room. So I've played with that, and I also originally had the projector was actually set up to project on the wall over here. So I cut a hole in the wall there so that you couldn't hear the projector, and it was mounted in the laundry room, so you couldn't hear it while you're watching movies. Gotcha.
So that's why the initial hole was there, but then we run into this is where I say there's no perfect solution because then we run into the problem of I need to use this camera for doing close-ups and stuff too when I'm filming. I have a second tripod so I can leave the first tripod where it is and just move it back and forth.
You just buy another camera. Simple.
Yeah. Tell you what, I spent $1,200 on that first one.
So your close-ups aren't as good as the far away stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then I've got this guy, which I bought for $400, which is a 1080p camera with a decent zoom, a 32 optical zoom on it, which I wanted to mount to the ceiling and use that for doing my like top-down stuff like that. But turns out that there's no Wi-Fi or remote control or anything for it, so you have to be able to physically touch the camera.
Oh.
So if it's mounted to the ceiling, anyways, we'll see. Maybe one day I'll be big enough to actually spend the money on the proper equipment to do all this stuff. But until then,
yeah. Well,
I've got my camera.
the conversation that Xander and I were having about, like what we were going to use to film out in the garage. And I said, do we spend the money and get a 4K camera? And he's like, well, we could. And I said, or we can just use that cheap $80 one and we don't care how bad it looks.
So which one are you going with?
The cheap $80 one, until I start rolling in the money, then, when I pick up that Panasonic sponsorship. So, all right, well, let's wrap this up. Only because Xander is going to stream right at 6:30.
Okay.
And I don't want to run over the top of him. So do your promotion. Let everybody know once again about your video that's coming out.
Yeah, so I've got a new video coming out tonight. It's our Print and Play's first sponsored video, and I don't want to spoil what it's about, but it's
don't give it away.
A fun video. Any comments on it after watching it? This is my first super hard attempt to try and make sure everything's perfectly edited. I found one hiccup in it, and I spent an hour going back and trimming out the imperfection. So, yeah.
Oh, Robbie Mack, you're killing me, man. I can't create a banner in the amount of time that we have, but I will give you the first spot
next week.
And
that's the Easter weekend, so that's an even bigger deal.
Yeah, Easter weekend. But I will give you the first spot next week because it takes me too much time to create those banners. So surprise, surprise, I have nothing new coming out this week. Work has just been horrendous, and then every moment that I'm not working, I'm in the garage trying to get our car situation leveled out so that we have at least 2 reliable automobiles in this family. But I definitely have an idea for a new project. So, but I don't need to banner so I'll still banner you next week. It'll be good. And welcome. Thanks for being here. So, but yeah, thanks to each and every one of you guys for being here, because of course these streams would be useless without you. I hope that you like the new format, because it's completely different than the old format. I mean, we got this nice thing up here. So, but thank you guys, all of you, for being here. We do love each and every one of you guys, and it's critical that you guys continue to show up. So that's all I got. No fancy outro yet, because it's still the old outro. So we're just gonna click out, and then that'll be it. So, but thanks, guys, and as always, till next time, print on, or project on. Still haven't figured that out yet.
Now you're projecting.
Print on.